Next up for us, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, Arizona Cardinals 1-5, 0-3 on the road at the Seattle Seahawks, 3-2, 1-1 at home. Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, 55 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. Also, get to the survivor pools here. I imagine that our whole pool at Pub Sports, our survivor is all going to be on Seattle. I thought this was going to be a really tough week, but Arizona's looking worse and worse, and Seattle seems angry after that 17-13 loss at Cincy. So this will be my survivor pick this week, and I imagine most people will be using it as well. I'm going to use it in both my pools. We're Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, 55 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We're sitting with the Seahawks -8.5. I certainly don't find that appealing from a spread perspective in a divisional game. There's been an 8-cent move or 9-cent move to Arizona from the opening line. From a total perspective here, we have it sitting at 44.5. That's juiced to the over. 44, all the way down to 44. Other books have the half, but not here. So it's dropped 2 points from 46 down to 44. And when we go down to the cash here, you have 81% of the tickets, but just 69% of cash on the under. And from a spread look, you have 35% of tickets, 65% of cash on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are just, I think they will continue to get worse, as the season goes on, especially with the injuries that they're facing with both starting safeties out with Jalen Thompson out with the hamstring. Now, he could come back, and Budda Baker is actually eligible to come back this week from IR. That would help them very much because they also lost Antonio Hamilton, their cornerback, to a groin injury in the fourth quarter. But I don't want this football team here. They've gotten a lot of Joshua Dobbs. They're coming off that ugly 26-9 loss. He was 21-41 for 235 yards and a pick. He also led the team on the ground running 7 times for 47 yards. He also lost a fumble. James Conner's injured, and it's a huge loss. He was playing really inspired football, and it's a huge loss. We thought it was going to be a lot of Amari Demercado, but Keontae Ingram got a ton of run. Damian Williams got some. The three combined to run 20 times for 87 yards. It's not bad. It's not like it's a huge, but Connor in the red zone really helps this football team. Michael Wilson caught 3 passes for 62 yards. Trey McBride caught 4 for 62 as well. They struggled in the red zone again. They went 0-3. They're tied for 20th in the red zone, converting 50% of their opportunities. And I'm telling you, that number will keep dropping with Connor out for at least 3 more games. Cards were held without a point in the second half. The defense tried to keep them in it, but the Rams ran the ball down their throat. They did finish with 3 sacks and 3 quarterback hits. The Cardinals have not covered a spread in 10 of their last 11 games against the NFC West, but this is a big dog spot. Seahawks coming off a tough 17-13 loss at Cincinnati. They outgained the Bengals 381-214. Geno Smith 27-41 for 323 and 2 picks. Lockett caught 6 for 94. DK caught 4 for 69. And Kenneth Walker ran 19 times for 62 yards and a touchdown, caught 3 for 27. This is a really good playmakers on this football team. So why were they unable to deliver? And they were 1 of 5 in the red zone. They're 20th in the league in red zone opportunities, hitting 50%. I don't know why that is. The defense held the Bengals to just 214 yards, but their red zone defense is appalling. The numbers don't make any sense. They allow opponents to score touchdowns on an insane 90% of opportunities. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's got to come back to the mean. I mean, that's just absolutely ludicrous. So the Bengals were 2 of 2 in the red zone, of course. And this defense good everywhere else. I mean, they held the Bengals to 3 of 11 on third down. They get 3 sacks and 5 quarterback hits. They pick Trey Brown picked off Burrow, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Seahawks have not covered the spread in each of their last 6 games as favorites against the NFC West opponents. Look, I don't want them at this number, and I don't know what to do with the total. I think it's a good move from 46 to 44, but now we're getting pretty low. I think that this is an angry Seahawks squad that will try to open it up. This is just the survivor pick for me at this point. What are you doing with this one? Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington, Mikey, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Tough spot, man. I mean, Seattle, I thought they outplayed the Bengals last week. I don't know how the score ended up the way it did, because I actually watched that game from start to finish. I had like one TV on the red zone, and I kind of watched one game kind of whole time. And this was one of those games I was invested on the Seattle side of the ball with a +3. To see them lose by 4 was like the ultimate gut punch. The under was great. I was able to live bet some under spots in there. And some of the trends lined up for me there, but I just don't understand what happened. And then on the flip side of things, I was vocal in saying I think the Cardinals were going to have an opportunity to beat the Rams outright, and they got beat down 26-9. So two teams in this conference or this division where I just don't have a good feel for my finger on the pulse. And in this game, I got enough plays out there. I'm not going to try to thread the needle. I do have a teaser that I put together. It's a 3-legger that was plus 170, but I don't know if I'm going to go official with that here. I got enough plays out there. This is the spot that I don't know. Seattle coming back home should be motivated to get the job done. Arizona without Connor, have we seen them kind of hit the bubble burst, right? I thought they were playing decent early with Dobbs, and then things kind of fell apart for them there. And they were even up in that first quarter, and even some of that first half of that Rams game, and then they lost. And if you look at common opponent, they beat 34-20. They lost to Cincinnati, where the Seahawks just played them 17-13. It's because it's back-to-back weeks that I think that factor is relevant, where you see, there was more offensive production by the Seahawks, or I should say defensive production by the Seahawks. But I'm going to stay off this game. I don't have a feel for it one way or the other. I'd be remiss. I'm not going to. I don't know if I'll bet it more than this teaser that I have cooking, but I don't have any look for it. I don't have a feel for it. I don't have a look for it. I really have. All I wrote on this thing was Seattle outplayed Cincinnati, Arizona without Connor. If we've seen the bubble burst, that's literally the only numbers I have for this game. It's not even numbers.
Yeah,
it's like that guy that gave me the two words. 1992.
And Birdie says Dobbs is Walking Dead. Announced today that Murray's coming off the IR. This will be Dobbs' last start. Seattle and the teaser is a great look. Says Bill, Seattle teaser. We should all bet that right now. He says, look, I just want Seattle to take care of business, get me to move on in the Survivor, and get me on to week 8. So let's move on